My guest today has worn quite a few hats over the years. She's an actor with various roles on stage and screen. She's a producer, and she is also the co-founder and CEO of My Smash Media, Fiona Gillies. Fiona, such an honor to be chatting with you today. And I've seen that you've been out at various events for Smash pretty recently. So, how's that all been going?
Well, thank you, Sam. It's lovely to be here. We've been trying to get this in the diary for a long time, so it's really good that we've pinned it down and we're here. Yeah, we've been all over the place recently with Smash. Smash is going really well. We're now in 96 countries. We just found out this afternoon, so that's really cool. We're excited about that, and we're all over the place, which is good. And I'm just sorting out. I mean, we spend a lot of time in Europe. What we're trying to do is, I suppose, democratize the creative industries a little and use tech to make it much easier for people to find each other. So that involves us as filmmakers, that's our background, attending film festivals, going and talking to people, working with creators, connecting with all sorts of people. So there's a lot of travel involved.
For those who may be watching or listening to this, know who might not know the backstory of Smash, where did the inspiration come from?
Well, I suppose like a lot of things, Smash came out of problems that me and Christine Hartland, who is also a producer, the problems that we were facing as producers. We were finding it hard to find the right projects, and then we were finding it really hard to get those projects in front of the right people. And so we thought, why can we not make this a lot easier? Why does everybody have to jump through so many hoops? And we joined forces with Mahesh Ramachandra, and he is a digital product expert. He comes from Hasbro and E1, and we sat down, the three of us, and we thought, what if we used tech to make life a lot easier for everybody? So maybe I am a filmmaker in New Zealand, and I've got an idea that would work really well for a production company in Alaska, but at the moment we can't find each other. If Smash could come up with a system that makes it a lot easier for the people who need projects to find the people who have projects, then surely that's better for everybody. So that's what we did, and that's what we've been working on.
Yeah, right on, right on. What are your favorite parts of getting to go to these different events where you're able to, network and connect with various other people?
Well, I suppose I come from a background as a storyteller, essentially. I went to drama school, I worked as an actor for a long time. I then worked as a producer. So I love stories. That's the reason that I'm in the business that I'm in. And so instead of as a producer, you've focused on your slate for a long time, it's really nice to meet a lot of different creators doing all sorts of different things and learn about other people's stories. And that I have really, really enjoyed. There's loads of things. Actually, Sam, there's loads of things that have been really exciting over the last few years because, to be honest, where I am at the moment in my career is not where I intended to be. Disruptive tech was not on my kind of roadmap of life, but this is where I am now, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoy it meeting other companies, so tech startups who have all sorts of ideas and ways of changing the world for the better. That's a really kind of positive and empowering thing. Working with a lot of creators who have all sorts of projects and trying to help them get those projects out there. Working with decision makers who want to reach beyond their traditional commissioning circles and find those different projects. That's really exciting as well. So I'm not saying that every single day is full of glorious moments because running a tech startup is a little bit like making a film. It can be torturous and painful. As Sam, we've just been talking about your job as a journalist and being out there filming. You know exactly what it's like. It can be really horrendous and painful sometimes. And other times it's brilliant fun. So
let's say if you could go back in time and you were able to talk with your younger self and tell her about all these things that you're doing today, what would she think?
She think that I was a crazy woman from the future who has no idea what I'm talking about, I suspect. But I think the thing is, life is, it takes you in unexpected ways. So, in my experience, being open to opportunities has been very useful. Sometimes it leads you up kind of a blind alley, and other times it leads you into a whole new world that you wouldn't have anticipated being involved in. I find myself now really interested in AI and tech. And this is absolutely not where I would have thought I would be interested. So in the morning I get up early. The first thing I'm doing is looking to see what's happened overnight, where people are going, kind of what are the developments in the area that I'm in. This is not necessarily what I would have planned on doing. I take the dog for a walk, I'm listening to podcasts. It's like a whole kind of other world has opened up. And it's really exciting and interesting. And so I suppose I would say to myself when I was younger, don't just stay in your lane. Don't. I should have kind of moved around a lot more as an actor. I should have been open to early on in my career. I should have been much more open to creating things, not sitting back and waiting for people to come to you. Go out there and try things, explore things. You've got ideas. You can, and I now when I meet younger people, I'm always so impressed by the fact that they can pick up a phone and go and make a short film. And they just do it. They don't just talk about it, they do it. And that's the way, really. Explore the things that you want to do. Don't think, oh, I'll wait to do that till I'm older. I'm going to wait to write that article and submit it to something till I'm older. No, just do it now. Try now. That's what I would say to myself. Have a go.
There's so many different ways that people can use their creativity and bring it to life, like you said, literally just by using one of these. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think the thing is, we've got a lot of changes coming our way over the next 10 years, I think. And the world that I grew up in is not the world that you're going to be experiencing. Um, so with that comes good and with it comes bad. But also there's a lot of opportunity. And I think that seizing the moment and trying things is really, really important and valuable. So I would say don't worry about making mistakes or failing. Have a go.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way there for sure. Let's get into your acting stuff now. Your acting career. I heard in a recent interview that you did that when you were younger, at least for a little bit here, you wanted to be an astronaut. So, w where did the interest in being an astronaut come from?
I have no idea, but it was something that I kept quite close for a long time until I realized that I would have to be steeped in physics, and that was not my strong point. So that's when I turned tail and thought, maybe I'm going to have to look at something else. But yeah, I always enjoyed drama. I always enjoyed stories and kind of that kind of. So, but it wasn't a business that my family was in. So it wasn't a kind of career choice that I thought was for somebody like me. And it was only when my back was against the wall and I was having to make decisions because I was coming to leaving school that somebody suggested I applied to drama school, and I was very, very fortunate, and I got in very quickly. So then I was off.
What would you say were the most important things that you learned at drama school?
Drama school's a really interesting. thing, I think, because there's a lot of, to be honest, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff at drama school. But what you do get is the opportunity to practice and to have loads of play experience. So you get loads of, time in front of a camera or on a stage. And it is an opportunity to try out all sorts of different characters, to learn the language of theatre, the language of film. Um, it's a great opportunity to make a really strong kind of network of peers around you that you get on really well with, that you have a laugh with. It's a great, and you work really hard. People underestimate. They think if you go to drama school, it's a kind of walk in the park. It's not. You work hard. You're doing shows. It's an intense and fun experience, but there is a tendency to take it incredibly seriously. And I think sometimes we don't enjoy the fun of it, and you don't always get the opportunity to explore and improvise, and it could be a lot broader than it is, in my experience.
Do you remember at all any of the productions that you worked on at drama school?
I do, and some of them were shocking, and some of them were really good. So it depends. You have a lot of 20-year-olds playing really, really old people with very dodgy makeup, or you have a lot of 20-year-olds playing, kind of young people. It's a right mixture of things. But I I enjoyed having the opportunity to play a lot of different parts, because realistically, when you come out of drama school and you go into the industry, you never get the opportunity to play those kind of you never get the opportunity to play an old person until you're an old person. So, it's those kind of things that you get when you're at drama school. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the friendship. Some of my closest friends come from that time. Um, and I look back on it as as a, with a fondness. There was a lot of kind of ridiculous stuff that went on, and there's a lot of good stuff that went on. A bit like everybody going to kind of college or university or going away for the first time.
Now I actually, and I'll tell you this. I first found out about you through your work on the BBC sitcom Joking Apart. A very, very wonderful show. Very funny. During the show's run, it gained a very loyal following, and it still has that to this day. How did your role on that show come about?
I remember my casting for that show really clearly, actually. I remember I had the casting. I enjoyed it. I thought it seemed to go quite well, but I didn't know, kind of. I left the room, and it was in Soho in London, and it was at the top room of an old building, and it had a stone staircase. I left the audition. I started to go down the stone staircase, and I was going down quite quickly, and I was clattering down the staircase, and I heard somebody running down after me. And I thought, oh, what? I must have forgotten something. And I turned around, and it was Stephen, the writer, who said, I just want to tell you you've got the part. And I was like, what? What? It was fantastic. It was a really, really nice way. And he said, have a nice weekend, and we'll speak next week. So it was a lovely way to start, and it was a great job that I really enjoyed. We were a small cast, we were a very close cast. Stephen was there the whole time, the writer, and we did it over, the BBC commissioned it. We did the pilot, they commissioned it. And then there was a gap of a couple of years between the series. So when we all came back together for the second series, it just was lovely because the scripts were so strong and we all really enjoyed each other's company. So it's a shame we didn't get to do a third series. It is amazing, but they do say two series, perfect number, dream. Um, but it was one of those jobs. Everybody has some in their career. They have some jobs where you just think it all comes together really well. The work is very good. The people that you're working with are very good. There's a wonderful atmosphere, and you kind of come together. You have a period of time, and then you separate again. So every time I see those actors, or I see anything written by Stephen, I feel a tremendous sense of warmth, and it comes from what was a lovely experience. So I'm very glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, 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 no. I mean, it's a wonderful show. I mean, you give some great performances in the show, and and as you were kind of alluding to there, as you were talking about, I mean, of course, you enjoyed the experience. You enjoyed being around everyone else who was working on it, and I believe you even described the experience in the past as it was like working with friends essentially. And for you it didn't feel like work. Um, so from your perspective, what made that bond between you and your fellow cast members so strong?
I think the writing was really strong. That's the key thing. So the writing was strong. You've got then such a firm base to begin from. So you've got well-defined characters. It's unusual that you have the writer to hand all the time, so you can sit down and talk to the writer about things. But actually, what Stephen was very good at was crafting excellent pieces that were put together beautifully. So there was a lot of craftsmanship in what he was creating. So that's a great starting point. And we just were a small cast who laughed a lot. So it was good fun, and it was we were kind of in the hands of Bob Spears, who was a very experienced director. So there was a lot of structure in place. He knew exactly what he wanted. And the parameters then were very clear. But mainly, I think we all enjoyed the work. And sometimes as an actor, you're doing jobs that are that's your job. That's what you do. You've got bills to pay. You've got this, that, and the other. So you're there, you're delivering your performance. And it's not always the creative experience that you had initially hoped it would be, to be honest. But a job like this, a job like Joking Apart it was a real feast as an actor, because it was great script, nice setup, good company, fantastic actors to work with, kind of a dream team, really.
Do you happen to remember your first interactions with Robert?
I hadn't met Robert before we auditioned together. So Robert knew he was doing it. So he was in the casting with me, and that's where we first met. So, and obviously I'm very tall, and I really like working with taller actors. Because when I was at drama school, I was always the tallest person there. That was always tricky, especially when you're at drama school and you have to do fighting and, kind of your sword fighting. We did a lot of sword fighting for some reason. So, I was always, anyway, Robert is very tall. So, that's always quite funny. Tall people together can be, and he was really good. He's a very easy person to work with, um, and kind of laughs very easily. So all in all, that I would say my first interaction was in that room at the top of the staircase in Soho. That's where I first met him.
Right on, right on. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean the show had a very loyal following when it was airing, and it's still very fondly remembered to this day. And like how cool was that for you to see the response from from the fans?
It's incredibly cool. It's incredibly cool. I feel, oh, it's so nice. Some people come up to me and I think, how could you even recognize me from that? But how lovely that you enjoyed something and then you come up and share it. So I do that now. If I see somebody that was in something that I really liked, um, I make sure I let them know that I enjoyed what they did. Because, sometimes, or if you come across somebody that's written something that you really liked, it's always good to let them know, to share that with them. So anyway, I love it if people come up and say, "Listen, I just watched Joking Apart," and I'm like, "Really? Did you? Did you enjoy it?" 9 times out of 10 they say yeah, or 10 times out of 10 they say yeah. Fortunately,
And then when Joking Apart came out on, I believe it was for the DVD release.
yeah,
You were part of the audio commentaries that
yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was really nice, and I'd never done anything like that where we all sat in a studio and watched it and chuckled, and we just kind of giggled our way through it. It was really nice to see it together. It's just yeah, it was it was a nice thing to do together.
Yeah, of course. No, and I can only imagine like how cool it was to be there. You're watching, you're watching the show with everyone, and like all the memories are coming
Yeah,
back as you're seeing all the different scenes pop up. So,
yeah, I know it was really good, and Tracy and Paul were it was very funny. In fact, I was looking at a photo of Paul yesterday, but it was lovely because all of you remember different things, and then once one person triggers something, loads of other stuff comes back, and it seems very nostalgic and indulgent, but it's lovely to have a little pocket of time like that where you're transported back to a really enjoyable job. Because as I say, as actors, you're doing a lot of different work in a lot of different places with a lot of different people. So the chances of it all coming together beautifully are mixed. So, on that job, it did come together beautifully, and it was lovely then to sit down and talk about it later.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I wanted to actually mention this film I saw you were in. I was watching it the other day. It's a film called I believe the film is called A Woman's Guide to Adultery that you were in. I believe also like Sean Bean is in it and Teresa Russell is in it. A very wonderful cast. Um, what do you remember from working on that movie?
I do remember that movie. We shot it in Bristol, which is an area of the UK that I didn't know very well. We shot it. It was a really nice cast. Again, it was a quite a young cast. I played a teacher in it. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't very funny. It wasn't very funny in that the script wasn't very funny, kind of. Um, but or maybe it could have done with a little bit more humor. But we'll work with some really nice people on it. Hartswood Films, who were great. Debbie and Sue and their mum Beryl Virtue, and Beryl Virtue was a really big producer here in the UK. So that was a nice opportunity, and in fact, I saw some of the Virtue family last year, which was good. So yeah, it was. I think it was 4 episodes that it came out over, but it was very good.
Now, we of course must talk about City Slacker, a wonderful film that you produced and starred in. You've said in the past that filming involved moving around a lot, many different locations. So, what memories stand out to you the most from filming City Slacker?
Well, I had so Sister Slacker was a film that I produced that Michael Muller wrote. And I had executive produced a film prior to that, which I really enjoyed with Taylor Johnson. And so I kind of thought, right, let City Slacker, we had a lot of people that I knew in it. shot it around London, but we had too many locations on it. So it ended up being, it was great, but it was really, really hard work because for a lot of the filmmakers out there, you'll know that actually moving location is a big deal. And we had something like 37 locations over a period of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it was a big, big kind of a big push for everybody. But I learned so much on that as a job. I learned so much. It was really, really good um, as a way of kind of, um, I suppose, because I didn't go to film school and I didn't train as a producer. I learned a lot of stuff on the job. So I had made short films and I'd executive produced feature, but I hadn't actually produced a feature that I also, was acting in. So this was the first time, and that was a steep, steep learning curve. Um, but I had a really nice team around me, so that always helps. I wish we had a longer to to shoot it in, but actually, in retrospect, it sold very well. It was nominated for a British Independent Film Award, and it has been screened all around the world. So actually, it was a really useful experience. And after that, we went on to make The Beat Beneath My Feet, which launched Nicholas Galitzine and had Luke Perry in it. And that was a musical. Um, and again, that was a very different thing for me. I hadn't made a musical feature before. So that was that was really good. We had a lovely director, a great cast, and again, I sound like I don't learn from things, but there was a huge amount to learn on that, which was good. And Luke Perry was just fantastic. Um, so all in all, I've been very fortunate, I think, in the projects that I've done.
Yeah, for sure. The character you play in City Slacker, Amanda, uh, how well do you think yourself and Amanda would actually get along, if you interacted with her?
I think probably Amanda at the end would be a more fitting person to get along with than Amanda at the beginning of the film. At the beginning of the film, Amanda at the beginning of the film is a real pain in the ass, and she's as hard as nails, and she's tough. So I think what I quite enjoyed actually was because my career as an actor at that point, I was playing lots of, kind of nice wives to people, understanding lawyer's wife, understanding doctor's wife, understanding such and such a person's wife. So it was quite nice to play at that point somebody that could not care two monkeys about anybody else but herself and was hard and tough and really took no prisoners. So I liked that part of her. I also admired the fact that, as a character, she had worked incredibly hard to get where she was and she wasn't going to let that go. But then suddenly her, kind of her biological clock was ticking in a way that she had not anticipated and she had not planned for. Every other aspect of her life was planned and sorted out. She had just overlooked this section of her life. So, I thought that was a very interesting thing, how the best laid plans kind of can get thrown up in the air. But I mainly like the thing of her redefining her relationship with her dad. Um, and I hadn't really seen that exploration of a high powered driven kind of businesswoman reconnecting with her father and having a lot of her father's traits, and then her father having the opportunity to kind of look at the relationship again when, kind of the baby was born, when there was a grandchild on the scene.
Of course, at the end of the film, Amanda gets her happy ending. What do you think she's up to today in 2025?
think she's probably become the person that she would have hated at the beginning of the film. I think maybe, kind of she has gone the whole way and is some wild hippie now. I would imagine she's much more relaxed and much more comfortable in who she is. And I hope that she has a really good relationship with her daughter, and that she managed to make her peace with her dad, and that she has a good relationship with her partner. I don't know if they're necessarily still together, but I hope that they talk and that they jointly bring up their daughter.
I think it would be great if someday if we got a sequel.
Yay! Well, I will talk to Michael Muller, the writer, about that and make a suggestion.
And then also in the film, I must mention this. You got to work with one of my favorites. You got to work with Matilda Ziegler. I'm a huge fan of her. Very, very well known for her work on Mr. Bean, of course, uh, and various other great projects. What was it like getting to work with her?
Well, Matilda Ziegler and I were at drama school together, so we've been friends for a long, long time. She is fantastic, and she is still a very, very close friend of mine. And in fact, I'm hoping that we're planning to go to Scotland next week for a few days. So I'm hoping that that's going to happen. She's in Ireland at the moment. But she's great, Matty. I call her Matty. She's got a fantastic sense of humor. She is very, very funny. And she's one of the best comedy actors that I know. Her timing is superb. And she's really, she really digs into a character. So she is fantastic. Both her daughters are actors as well now. So she's great. She's she's exactly the kind of pal that you want. She's good fun. She's clear-sighted. She is there when you need her. So you could call her at 3 o'clock in the morning and she would always be there.
Let's see, are there any film or TV projects that you have coming up in the near future?
Well, what we have on Smash, interestingly, is I kind of feel that having just had a small slate of projects that I was working on now, because Smash has over 7,000 creators, um, we kind of have a phenomenal amount of work that we're supporting and encouraging. If creators come on to Smash and they create a pitch for their project or they answer a call out, obviously their project and their IP is protected. But still, because they're on the platform, we feel we really want to match them to people that are looking for projects like theirs. So you kind of have a sense of responsibility to all of the projects now, rather than just your single slate. So yes, there are some key projects that we've been making matches for. So, we've got filmmakers that have been matched to money, and we've got production companies that have been matched to filmmakers. And those are always really special. Once the matches come together, you kind of feel like, hey, this project's on its way now, which is exciting. So I don't have one specific one that I would say, yes, this is the one, because it's like, which of your children would you choose? Kind of there are a multitude of fantastic projects now on the platform, which is really, really exciting.
It's fantastic, fantastic. You
And
know,
also, sorry, I should just mention to any of the creatives that are listening that Smash, my Smash.media is free to creators. So anybody can come on and create a pitch for their project, and then we try and match them to the call outs that are coming out.
I do want to mention some of the stage work that you've done over the years, because you've done quite a lot of work on stage, and I saw that this was super cool in my opinion. You got to work with the great Jeff Goldblum in The Prisoner of Second Avenue. I
That's
must ask, gosh, what was it like working with him?
I worked with him on the stage in the West End here in London, and I played his sister, and it was really good fun. He's a lovely man. I kind of knew that he would be a lovely man, but he really is a lovely man. And he's super talented, and very kind of generous and open. And yeah, it was great. We did a play that came from the Old Vic into the West End. And we worked. I hadn't really worked on stage. All my work had been on kind of film and TV prior to that for quite a long time. So I hadn't been on stage for ages. And I had forgotten really how nerve-wracking it is being in front of a live audience on stage. And I remember the night of the first preview, I was standing waiting to go on. I was in the wings and I thought, oh my God, the audience are so noisy. I can hear them taking their seats and talking to each other and getting, and how did I forget how nerve-wracking this was going to be? And then, the music starts and then you're in and you come to terms with your anxiety and your nerves very quickly and you're on stage and then it goes. And it's lovely. But he was great fun. He was over here for a period of time in London. Uh, he was super professional to work with. He knew exactly what he was doing with the character, but he was really open to direction and suggestions. He was playful. Sometimes people um, are kind of locked down or in a way or locked into that character, and then it's hard to kind of open up or play or kind of discuss through rehearsal, which is part and parcel of the important part of the journey of the character, that you can try this, try that. But he was really open to everything, so it was a joy and a pleasure to work with him.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Do you have a preference, between working on stage or screen?
No, I think it comes down to writing and it comes down to the story and the character, really. That's the thing. So sometimes you can read a tiny short film and you think, wow, that is a brilliant idea. That is a fantastic character. And then the same thing, you can, kind of find a scene in a film that just is brilliant and you're blown away by it. And then sometimes you can be doing a mainstream TV drama that pays you a lot of money and you think, oh, this is a little bit boring. So it depends. I would say it's the writing that's the exciting thing. So whether that's theatre or film, it doesn't matter. It's the writing that's key.
Yeah, for sure. As we've been talking here, I mean, you've accomplished so much in your life doing these various different things. What is the thing, no, if there is one thing, what is the thing that you are most proud of in terms of the work that you've done?
Uh, Gosh, Sam, that's a big question. I couldn't say there's one thing that I'm superly proud of because maybe it hasn't happened yet, or maybe I'm on my way to. I don't know. Um, I I've had, some of the jobs that I've most enjoyed have maybe not been the most successful jobs, and then some of the most successful jobs have been successful maybe for reasons that aren't very obvious, or so I can't say there is one thing in particular that I am super proud of that. Um, because everything that I've done has given me something different that obviously I must have needed. So I would say I've had a fortunate career up to now, and And I'm enjoying, what I've enjoyed about my career to date is the different twists and turns that it's taken me on. It's not been a linear journey, and for that, I've been really very lucky. So I've never known what's around the corner. And I've never been frightened because I haven't known what's around the corner. So I would say, for me, I don't know, I enjoy it all. And so there is no one thing that I would go, that is the pinnacle.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Now, last question here. What is the biggest piece of advice that you have for aspiring actors?
I would say to, as I do say to all actors, aspiring actors, find filmmakers, find younger filmmakers who need actors, because there's a lot of filmmakers out there who don't know actors but know technicians and people, so they know directors, they know cinematographers, sound people, but they don't know many actors. And there's a lot of actors over here who don't know a lot of filmmakers. Try and find each other and work together, and make stuff. Don't wait for people to come to you. Create your own stuff, write your own stuff, work together with your friends. Matty and I, when we did City Slacker, we worked together. I was like, Matty, there's a part here. Do you like this part? Are you interested? Do you want to do it? And she was, yep, I do. Great. So she and I played very close friends in that film. So I would say, play to your strengths, work with the people around you, create your own work. Don't wait for the industry to come to you. You can change the industry by doing and telling the stories that you want to tell. So go out there and do that. That's what I would say.
Well, that is some wonderful advice, Fiona. And thank you so much for giving me some of your time today and being able to talk with you. Finally, it was really amazing. So just thank you so much.
Sam, thank you so much for inviting me on to talk. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been lovely to meet you, and enjoy the rest of your day too. Thank you.